Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the Gameplaycast's Warhammer 40k Miniatures Challenge. Having got through the trauma of my first miniature, I move on to the main event, my OG Demon Prince. I decided to keep the Demon Prince the classic Black Legion colours, and I'd already bought the paint as part of my original outlay, so, new brushes in hand, I assumed this model would go smoother than the last, and I certainly wouldn't need to buy more paints. As you can imagine, this turned out to be rather optimistic. I'm pretty much set on making him Black Legion colours, pretty much the same as he was before, but hopefully with a much higher finish quality. I hope. I'm also tempted to use the Black Templar contrast paint to see if that adds any more depth to the armour plates. I have Retributor Gold for the details, and I've bought some Flesh Terror Red for his skin. My big problem here is the wings. I really want to make them pop, so I ran a few tests on a couple of the wing panels based on a video I watched from the Artis Opus channel, see a link in the description, just to see what they would look like. My plan was to use Flesh Terror's Red for the base, then dry brush with some grey before adding a dark wash over the top, the idea being to give it some nice colour and some detail. Here's how it turned out. Not exactly what I'd hoped for. This also highlighted to me that I think Flesh Terror's Red is a bit too much of a deep red. I feel his skin needs to be a bit more bluey purple rather than straight up blood red. So I'm going to mix in some blue or purple to kind of shade the contrast paint. Time to order some more paints. This is becoming a problem. After messing about with a mixture of Flesh Terror's Red and Macragge Blue, I came up with this colour. It's a 3:1 ratio of red to blue, and it gives this awesome purpley red colour, which is exactly what I wanted. It looks spot on versus my latest wing-based plans too. Having found my skin colour, I still wasn't sure on what wing style to use, so I again turned to ye old faithful YouTube and watched another YouTube video. See a link in the description. I'm going to attempt to replicate this guy's technique, as I think the result is awesome. Now I just need to actually paint it. The last two elements of my design are the sword and the base. For the sword, I want to create a molten effect similar to the one in this video. See another link in the description. Though using greens instead of yellows and reds. Kind of aiming for a bit of a ghostly blade. I'm thinking kind of the greens around the ring wraiths in Lord of the Rings. In terms of base design, I've ordered an 80mm base and some cork, and my plan is to create a volcanic channel which my demon can be stood across, with a nice lava flow running down the middle.
Heresy grows from idleness.
As you can see, my ambition has increased somewhat for my single Primaris Marine. The big question is, did my many experiments pay off? Well, again, I'm going to make you wait for the grand reveal episode to see the final finished article, but here's how he looked after the first base coats and my work on the wings and sword. You can see it's a bit rough and ready in places. I haven't added the final details like his eyes and teeth yet, but all in all, I'm happy with where the model's going, and now it's at this point I can really see how it will look when it's finished. In the end, I used my custom skin colour mix and then added a coat of Flesh Terror Red over the top. For the wings, I used brown for the base and then created brighter shades from the Wraithbone White. For each pass, it was important that the brush strokes were visible and that each layer was offset from the last. This is to add some texture and depth to the final finish, as I'll be adding a few black washes with Nuln Oil to blend and darken the finish. The sword worked out okay using the glazing technique from the video. I used green mixed with white and black to create the shades, though again I realised that the brushes I'd bought from the army painter really weren't very good. I've kept these for donkey work going forward, but I bit the bullet and bought the detail brushes from Artis Opus. I must hate money or something. I don't know. As with my Marine, I also realised quite quickly that I should have undercoated in black, as it would have made my life easier not having to paint the armour, and would have avoided the extra work I had to put in on the details to ensure no grey was visible at the edges of the gold trim. Lesson learned, think about your base coat more. I then used Skeleton Horde for the skulls and horns, Retributor Gold with the same Gulliman's Flesh wash I used for my Ultramarine, and some Leadbelcher Silver with a Nuln Oil wash for all the chains and conduits. finishing off with some ultramarine blue contrast paint on the Space Marine helm. For the base, I bought some cork from a supplier on eBay, and you guessed it, more paints for the lava colours. I then glued the cork down and used my drill and a few nails cut to size to create pegs in the base to hold the Demon Prince in place. I then drilled matching holes in his feet, and when the time comes, I might use some green stuff to perma-bond him to the base. In my experience, superglue and metal miniatures are a bad combo, and I don't want this guy falling off and shattering again. And with that, we've reached the end of this video. There's still lots of finishing that I need to do in order for me to realise my vision for this project, but I can really see it coming together now. Maybe I'm the only one. Let me know what you think of my attempts/experiments in the comments, and whether you think my Demon Prince is going to come out looking good or not. And all that's left for me to say is I've been Tim from GameplayCast. Peace out, and thanks for watching.